Crime Stoppers helps solve crime. Hi, this is Dan DiBardino, president of Crime Stoppers of Michigan, asking you to help us continue our work in keeping your neighborhood safe. Each year, more and more families turn to us for help seeking justice for their loved ones. Please help us by donating through our website, 1-800-SPEAK-UP.org. Any amount will help us. We are helping families every day, and you can too. Again, the website to donate is 1-800-SPEAK-UP.org.
Good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano. I'm joined by our one of our regulars here, Keith Williams. Keith, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
He's fighting his headset here. That's all right.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Scotty Boman.
Hello.
Scotty, how you doing? A residential libertarian here. A lot of issues have come up this past week. We can also delve a little bit into Democratic politics in terms of some of the things that are still residual over the debates and what they're debating over. And it looks like Donald Trump is trying to, my general impression is Trump can't stand for anybody else to have any attention. So he'll delve into areas that if he just keep his mouth shut, he'd be a lot further ahead than what he always does. He continues to attack, quote, the squad, Rashid and the rest of them. He suggests to Israel that, to the prime minister, that they shouldn't let her in. And it looks like Israel now is paying attention to what he says versus looking at their own national interest in trying to at least foster that they're a democracy and that they're willing to have other people of other views actually come into their country. The same as a democracy here. You're supposed to tolerate different views.
Yeah. Bob, America needs to come clean. America needs to look itself in the mirror. There's a scripture in the Bible says about gaining the whole world and losing your soul. What does a man gain the world and lose his soul? The Republican Party, and some, I'm not saying all, I want people to say this morning, it's not about all, but there's a lot of white evangelicals, white people would rather have tax cuts, Supreme Court justices, and federal judges to keep control of this country when they just dismissed Donald Trump's behavior. He doesn't act like a president. He's not illiterate from the standpoint of knowing all the nuances of being a president. And they would sit up there and turn a blind eye to all what's going on in this country. He's stoking fire, stoking the racism fire. Every day is something racist, something he's trying to pit groups against each other. And like you said, he's over in Israel now in Israel's business, but the Congress is the one that appropriates all the funds.
Yeah,
so,
trying to keep them on their good side.
Yes, and then fast forward, everybody want to had this great thing about L. Brooks Patterson. L. Brooks Patterson is the Donald Trump of back then, and Donald Trump, L. Brooks Patterson came up with this busing idea, and I forgot what was that lady.
That's how he got started. Yeah,
that's how he got in Pontiac. What was the lady's name?
I can't think of the woman's name.
Yeah, so he started that. He's been doing it us against them, and so now they want to get a tombstone for the guy, a monument for the guy in Oakland County. Yeah, he did some good things economically for Oakland County, but it's not all about economics. It's about your soul. And where's America's soul?
One thing gets me about the whole, the kind of travel ban that's gone on with Rashida Tlaib and Representative Omar is when people are trying to defend it, I continuously, it's like one after another, encounter people accusing them of hate speech, accusing them of being hateful toward Jews. And every single time I'm like, okay, give me an example, online, show me a video, anything. They can't find anything. And so it's sort of this defamation campaign where people keep accusing them of being anti-Semitic and that kind of thing. And there's nothing to back it up. If you listen to what they're really doing is anytime anyone criticizes Israel's policies, it's a government with politicians with policies, people are acting as if that's some kind of hate speech against a race or a ethnicity or religion of people, and it's not.
Well, there's a lot of controversy swinging back a little bit towards Oakland County, and we're going between the two of them. And they're saying, boy, look at this was the way the Board of Commissioners acted, and the way they were trying to go after or to vet candidates and things like that. I think what people forget is that traditionally county-wide elected officials are replaced by a traditional board of the chief judge of probate, the prosecutor, and the county clerk. They traditionally pick it. What was happening in Oakland County was that two of the offices were starting to be held by Democrats, the prosecutor and the county clerk. Brooks actually went up, and the Republican legislature changed the law so that the replacement would be done by the Board of Commissioners. At that time, the Board of Commissioners, the majority were Republicans. Then in 2018, that reversed, and now it came back, and look what was going on. It suddenly was in control of the Democrats. And when Woodward stepped down, it made it 10-10, which exasperated the whole thing. So this was actually all set up by what the Republicans did in changing the state statute that made Oakland County the exception into the way that the replacement was picked.
They always, the Republican Party always want to be the victim. They victim, man, Bob. We have a normal process. Like you said, if somebody leave their seat, the county clerk, the chief prosecutor, and the chief of probate elevates that person to the next slot. But then he has to run, and if the election is next year, he's got to run for the seat. Well, let the same thing happen in Oakland County. See, they want to control power. It was hogging power, Bob. It's simple as that.
It was turning the county was turning Democratic, and so they thought they had a way to at least sustain the Republican county executive, and it didn't work. And I know everybody is, it's ugly and everything else. I hate to tell you, but legislation, a lot of times the way it's made.
It's like sausage making.
Yeah,
it looks ugly, but when you finish, it tastes good.
But, the problem when people make laws that they really need to think about, whether it's like amending the charter or making a law at the state level or at the county level, is people need to understand that the people that are going to be affected by the laws, the politicians empowered by those laws or limited by those laws, are not going to be the same people that are in office right at the moment, and they need to think ahead and realize it's got to be more universally applicable.
This country doesn't think. Look at the business community; they go from quarter to quarter. They don't look at long range. That's one of the problems you have with sometimes companies in other countries. But that's another discussion. Look, we have Greg on the phone here. Greg, you want to join the discussion?
Yes, you guys. You look fine, Mr. Positive. Hey, real quick, do you guys feel Talib should have went? I just cut the little bit into the program. Do you guys feel that she should have won or not?
I don't have a problem with her going.
It's a free country. She's a congresswoman.
She was going to a democratic country, just like over here, you're allowed to express your opinion. I mean, you don't agree with everything that every side says.
It's called a democracy.
Yes, I said it on the Frank Beckman show, and I said the same thing. But why does everyone bring in God to try to prove their point?
But it's not about. But Republicans use God all the time. Love of country. God we trust.
They're the party, right?
Yeah, they're the party of moral values.
Moral majority. Remember that?
Right.
No, but everyone brings in and they start quoting scripture to whether it be Democrats or people that are God-fearing or Republicans. I'm just saying in general, it's not helping Detroit, with the violence.
But sir, with Detroit's violence,
it means nothing.
Folks, I'm getting tired of you. I'm getting tired of you talking about Detroit's violence. You got domestic terrorists, white supremacy, killing up. I never seen a black person go into a damn mall and kill up about 50 or 60 people. Now, where you get that one from? Who's been doing all the murders around the country? Who's killing up kids and stuff?
People?
Who?
You don't think it's delusional people? You call white supremacy to fit your narrative.
No, it's the truth.
No,
it's the truth.
No, it is sprung forward. It has sprung forward.
Okay, sir, let's look at the history. Hold on, let's look at the history. How you got this country, you with force and guns. If you look at the Second Amendment, it was talking about musket. What was that gun? A musket. A musket. And now y'all done turn it into damn assault weapons. Look at from the schools in Columbine. Just look at the history, man. Y'all did more killing than black folks killed.
Well, actually, I think Mr. Positive has a bit of a point, because when you think about the mass killings and so on, a lot of times people will, and talk about even the racists and the white supremacists, a lot of times people will quote scripture to back up what they're saying.
Okay, look, religion gets mixed. Religion gets mixed into everything. Go to a sporting event. Baseball player hits a home run. He points to God. You see it all the time. It gets mixed in.
I love God. I love God in His image. We are in His image, and He wants us to talk about the good, not the bad. You got devils already calling in every Sunday, but I listen to the devils. Okay.
I want people to make heaven here on earth.
I listen to the devils.
People to make heaven here on earth.
You know what, Greg? Go to Politico, and they're even talking about now how the religious right is getting fed up with Trump. There's an article today in Politico saying that they're getting fed up with him and the way he acts and the things that he does.
He's a hypocrite. They're hypocrites, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, look at all he talks about are women and everything else and what he would do with women and things like that. And everybody just goes, that's all right. It's just Donald Trump.
Look at that. Look at this Congressman King talking about rape. You heard the crazy stuff. That guy's an idiot. But the Republican Party elect people like that.
He said, look at look at your family tree. Probably somebody was raped there.
In your family.
Raped in your family, and that's created some of the offspring.
So you like a guy like that?
Well, no.
Politicians, especially male politicians, should refrain from using the R word unless it's about fighting crime.
I'm just telling you, the Republican Party is a fraud. They took the white racists what the Democrats had back in the 60s and they converted it to the Republican Party. Goldwater was the first skunk, and then Nixon was the last skunk, and they created this Southern strategy. They ain't nothing but racists. They play the fools. They play there's a song, what song about the fools? Listen to this. They play to those folks that need to get more education because they're being played. Y'all being played, man. Donald Trump playing you. You have nothing in common with Donald Trump. You can't live next to him. You can't go with him. You can't eat with him. And y'all want to sing his praise.
Look at the art of the deal. I mean, he tells you what he's doing. He wants you to, if he's in a deal, he wants $100. He says, he demands 300. You give him 200. He's $100 ahead. He's always wheeling and dealing in what he's doing.
But he already went bankrupt 5 times, Bob. Okay, now he's running our economy
that's part of the art of the deal. He knew the banks would always
Now the idiotic thing, I'm telling you, he's crazy. Somebody need to be a psychiatrist in his bedroom. Now he want to buy Greenland.
Yeah, that was Greg. How do you defend that, Greenland?
Well, he wants it. I guess it's a good piece of property.
Nobody knows what it's for.
What is it for?
Well, apparently the Greenlanders aren't interested in selling it.
No. They said no. We don't. No, we're not for sale.
Not for sale.
So I think that's the end of that.
Huh?
But yeah, I mean, I just feel that when you bring up white supremacy and the killings and the mass shootings, if you take the amount of people that have been killed with these
in the past 10 years, have you ever heard about David Duke raising his head? All of a sudden now, ever since we've had this president, David Duke has risen back up in prominence. Why is that? That's not a coincidence.
Bob, they use slavery. They use a version of the Bible to enact slavery.
The Bible.
Yeah, it brought that up.
No, about slavery. That's how slavery came about.
Harkening back to some of the language back in Genesis about Noah and his descendants and stuff.
Yeah, they wanted slaves. God believed in slaves.
I don't think God believed in slaves.
No, he didn't.
Women being second-rate citizens.
No. Brother, but you need to get, I'm
pick and choose. You're the one who's picking and choosing. You don't want women to...
No, I'm not picking and choosing.
They're second-rate citizens?
I see both sides.
You come in, you can listen to this, man. You call, you
can't help them now.
see, what gets me about you guys, man, y'all delusional, man. You know the song about just my imagination running away with me? That's what y'all do. Your imagination running away with
Greg, there's panic now
A
because
live
the economy.
performance by vocalist Keith Williams.
And the problem you have now, and why he is scared to death, because the economy is starting to go into a downturn, and that was the only thing positive that he was starting to talk about. And now it's starting to go into a downturn, and he has nothing to talk about.
Then he gonna talk about you need to vote for me because your tax cuts, your 401ks, man.
It won't be that bad.
Okay.
But here's the thing: the amount of people that are killed in Chicago and Detroit over a course of 1 month is far more than the people that have been
Man,
shot.
listen to this, man. You can't equate. You cannot equate killing two. Hold on. You cannot. Violence is violence, but violence is violence. But you're not saying about a guy gets over a baby and blow a baby's brain out. A guy put in a manifesto that he come to hate Mexicans. You man, you need to get off the phone and go to church right now.
Look at this manifesto. Okay, I'll go to church.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Next up, Linda. Linda, you're on with the panel here.
What do you think about black on black crimes in Detroit?
I'm sorry, say that again, Linda?
What do you think about black on black crimes in Detroit? How black people hurt each other?
I think you find throughout all the country that people are turning to more violence.
Yeah, that's
and it's being encouraged by a lot of the speech that they hear.
Look what happened in just Kabul. Just last night in Kabul, Afghanistan. It's suicide bombers all the time.
Well, I wouldn't say, though, that black on black crime in Detroit has necessarily to do with anyone else's saying. I think it's interpersonal conflict between people in the same city.
I agree with you on that.
And people are also banding together to fight crime. As a Detroiter is part of a radio patrol. I mean, last night I was out patrolling my neighborhood with my local radio patrol. There's people out there trying to stop crime.
My neighborhood. Come and patrol my neighborhood, okay?
Linda, that's a local issue, and I understand that you get very concerned about crime in your neighborhood and things like that. There's a difference, though, between that and somebody who gets set off deciding that they're going to walk into a church or that they're going to suddenly walk into a mall and just start massacring, 39 people all of a sudden. There's a big distinction because some of the crime, and you shouldn't be having to go through any the crime that you have in your own neighborhood. There's ways you can try to resolve that, and I know there's times that we have not done it very well.
Tell me how can I do that? I have called the chief of the police. I have called Chief Craig many times. He has done nothing to help me. I need help.
It sounds like you got a personal deal, and you just got to keep calling Chief Craig. You go to your commander. Where do you stay?
Yeah, what's your neighborhood?
Granville, Detroit. Grandville, Granville, and Detroit.
Okay, there's a couple things, Linda, you can do. See who your city council person is that represents your district. The other one, there's a police commissioner that also represents your district. I would start there because, in theory, Chief Craig reports to that police commission board, right? And
I don't know.
Yes, they do.
I don't really know.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to in theory. And so,
listen.
And so,
crime is done to me. Crime is done to me.
Linda, if you want to,
13940 is doing a crime to me.
Okay.
56 years old.
Okay. I suggest you attend a police commissioner meeting, and I would. There, you'll have the police brass, and you'll have police commissioners, and tell them what your specific problem is in that neighborhood.
Yeah. The meetings are on the first. On every Thursday at 3 p.m. at the and they're currently at the headquarters at 1301 3rd, though there may be a change in that, and it's another topic. But yeah, keep abreast of that, and also on the second Thursday of the month, and you got to go on the city website to keep up with it. They have meetings in the community, usually at 6:30 on the second Thursday of the month. Friend of the show,
Yeah,
Willie
thank you.
Burton, is often on here, and he would be able to tell you a lot about that, too.
Yeah, so Linda, if you go to the police commission meeting or also call your council person who represents, I don't know, Keith, do you know who the council person is in that district?
Okay, thank you so much. Well, bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
We
Linda.
appreciate it. There is a distinction between the actual murders that occur in mass, like at a mall or at a church or things like that, versus, there's a lot of crime in the neighborhoods and people don't like it, and that's a way that you try to deal with it.
I think a lot of it's the level of premeditation's different. I mean, a lot of the crime that I hear about is crimes of passion, recklessness,
or
opportunity.
There's drug turf wars that also.
But Bob, it's when you lack resources, when you take resources out of community, and I'm not making excuses for anybody, man, because wrong is wrong. But the fact of the matter is, we have to look ourselves in the mirror, what kind of society we want.
Including starting with the education.
Yes, with education.
We're going to break. Jim, hold on. We're going to get to you right after the break. You're listening 910 AM, the Superstation.
Are you drowning in debt? Struggling just to make minimum payments? It's not your fault. Serious debt can happen to anyone, but there is hope. Our debt-free program has helped thousands of good people, just like you, eliminate their credit card debt. Call us today, and we will dramatically reduce your credit card debt down to just a fraction of what you owe. The call is free. The consultation is free. Take control of your credit debt. Take control of your life again. Call now to see how our debt-free program can work for you.
Call 800-872-5230.
If you or a loved one underwent hernia surgery between 2010 and 2016 and then suffered serious complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Complications associated with physomesh include chronic pain, infection, adhesions, mesh migration, reopening of the hernia, and other serious injuries. Call right now.
Call 1-800-799-2091. Again, that's 1-800-799-2091.
Attention! In July 2018, Bayer announced that it will be halting its sales of Assure. The Assure birth control may break or migrate after insertion, puncturing the fallopian tube, resulting in corrective surgery to remove the device. Thousands of women have reported debilitating health problems to the FDA. In April 2018, the FDA restricted sales of Assure to protect women and required that patients receive risk information.
Please call 800-425-9539.
Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Atomic Beam USA, another bright idea from Bulbhead, the ultra-bright, tough-grade flashlight that features tactical technology used by U.S. Special Forces. This flashlight has a feeble 125 lux output. The Atomic Beam USA has up to 5,000 lux. That's 40 times more. We're going to drop it hundreds of feet from this helicopter. It hits the tarmac, and it's still working. That's what I call a tough flashlight. Heavy downpours, mud puddles, even extreme temperatures are no match. You could spend over $100, or the Atomic Beam USA can be yours for just $19.99 with free lifetime guarantee. Order now, you can double it and get a second Atomic Beam USA. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll even ship them to you for free. Atomic Beam USA is just $19.99. Order now.
Call 1-800-638-2619 to get your Atomic Beam USA. Call now or go to atomicbeam.com. So call 1-800-638-2619. Deluxe version available. Order now.
We all love fried food, but the problem is all that excess oil and fat can cause you to become overweight. Well, now there's the Cook Light Aero Fryer, an amazing kitchen miracle that uses air to fry instead of oil, so you can have the same delicious flavor and crispiness of deep frying using little or no oil. Get that deep fried taste and crispiness with up to 70% fewer calories. Enjoy crispy, delicious fries with little or no oil, guilt-free onion rings, cheesy and delicious mozzarella sticks. Call now and bring the Cook Light Aero Fryer into your home, including the Cook Light Aero Fryer recipe book, the unique patented dual tray, air frying mesh basket and tongs, and stainless steel extender ring. You'll get it all for 5 easy payments of $29.95. Be one of the first 500 callers and get this 13-piece knife set, a $175 value, yours free. Try Cook Light Aero Fryer for 30 days. If you don't love it, send it back, but keep the 13-piece knife set as our gift to you. Order in the next 10 minutes and we'll include free shipping. Call now or go online to air2fry.com. That's air2fry.com. Have you been denied credit or hit with high interest rates? A low credit score happens to many of us, and millions of people are victims of incorrect items on their credit reports and don't even know it. That's why you need credit repair now. Our proven process has resulted in past clients seeing on average 11 negative items removed from their credit report and a 40-point increase after the first 4 months in our program. Call now and request your credit report and credit score for free in minutes.
Call 1-800-783-9197.
Good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano, here with Keith Williams and with Scotty Boman. I have a number of callers lining up here. Jim, you're on the air. You waited.
Good morning, everybody. This is a question for Keith. Keith, I see that I got your boy Norwood Jewell. You also got Cindy Estrada's assistant. They're closing in on her. I'm kind of curious, how much is all this stolen union money? And I've been one for 34 years. A member. How much of that money is going to the Democrat and Democrat Party?
And Donald Trump had 15 people indicted.
Let me finish. And I'm kind of curious. Is your name going to pop up?
Hey, no, I don't work for the union.
He doesn't work for the UAW.
I don't work for the union.
And the way if you read it, Jim, what they were doing was that on the materials they were selling to the membership or giving to the membership, I should say, watches and coats, they were getting a kickback on it, on what they were doing it, huh?
But sir, let me ask you a question. You called me about the union. I love you eating off the union. Your check come from what Barack Obama did for you. Secondly, Donald Trump has had hold on, listen to you. Donald Trump has had 15 people indicted. 15 friends indicted. They were selling secrets. The general was selling secrets to Turkey. Okay? They was over in Russia doing deals, so you was okay with you because somebody stole some watches, but you selling secrets. What's the difference?
I thought they already declared there was no collusion.
Oh, that's bull, man.
Okay, whether there's collusion or not, his campaign manager was in Russia trying to make a deal for himself, and he was saying he was playing the poll numbers.
He gave poll numbers, the United States poll numbers
that they were doing with the Trump organization. He had the inside track and all that. He, at the Republican convention, had the platform changed to be more friendly towards Putin.
Hey, Bob,
collusion is not a term of art and law, so it doesn't really have much meaning.
They came up with that meaning. Hey, let me ask you a question. Luther got killed in a plane crash. Donald Trump, he going to get killed by the stock markets and stuff, man. The bottom line is this. I want to ask you a question, man. Hold on, let me ask you this question. Barack Obama was in the presidency 8 years. Did you ever scandals about, did any scandals come out of Barack Obama's administration?
Oh, yeah. The green energy was a big...
Now, first of all, that was introduced by a congresswoman from New York.
Yes.
AOC,
as they call her. Cortez, and that was posted.
No, under Obama's, remember?
Obama said the automotive. Do you work for, what plant do you work for?
What local, Jim, what local are you out of?
The Stigma, 869.
What's that? Chrysler, Ford, General Motors.
Chrysler.
You got your job. You shouldn't even say anything. You should go home and go to church, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, Obama is the one that infused the cash to save that company.
Yeah, you eating off a black man's help and the country's help, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. Go to church, man.
I am there, Keith. I'm praying for you.
I accept all praise.
Yeah, I was going to say, pray for all of us. Everybody needs the help.
Yeah.
Scotty, what are you going to say?
Jim, are you a Republican?
Okay.
Jim, I think you are a Republican.
Well, I'm going to say, I noticed there's this terminology. It's like, there's different accents. I think it's kind of like a Republican accent. Whenever I hear anybody say, refer to the Democrat Party instead of the Democratic Party, it's like a light goes on. I go, Republican.
Hey, no, this will happen. Scotty, on Facebook, you got grammar cops. You're becoming the grammar cop.
I'm up here in the country.
I'm sorry,
John Wayne, Johnny Cash, and John Deere. That's up.
Yeah, right. And guess what? That's why the farmers are mad right now.
Yeah.
They want to run Donald Trump out of this country.
Keith, what farmer do you know?
Hold on. Guess
farmer.
what?
No.
Guess what? I don't have to know a farmer. I eat stuff every day that comes from come from my crops.
They're all Republicans, so thank them.
Yeah, but guess what? Them Republicans getting ready to get run out. They losing money with those tariffs.
That's right. And the original deal by FDR is the one that originally saved the farmers and Democrats.
The Democrats want to save you guys. Hey, brother, let me ask you a question. Brother, let me ask you a question, my man. Why don't you just quit and go get a job with some Republicans?
Because I'm trying to save the union.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling in. Okay, next up, we have Ben. Ben, you're on here?
Yeah, how you doing?
Great.
You know, I want to ask you gentlemen, do the mayor have any control in this city since the bankruptcy? The reason why I say that, you lost Bel-Air. You don't have control of Cobo Hall. You don't have control of the water. What do you have control of? The contracts and the fire and the policemen?
Yes.
Yeah, he does have control over that. And Cobo Hall was, it's interesting in the history of that. It was starting to, you're going to lose the auto show. It was going to go to Chicago. And they had to come up with some funding. And like anything else, you got to negotiate with the legislators. And the legislators are controlled by the Republicans. Everybody forgets that votes have results. And when you're staring at the barrel of a gun, meaning a political gun, at that point, you either cut the deal or you let Cobo Hall just go under. So, I mean,
well, I was just saying,
at some point, you got to do something.
In the authority now, they like the authority run. And then a lot of things they put up on the authority, they should have let the taxpayers vote on it. Same thing with Bel-Air. Even though people voted for city council and they come up with the consent agreement, but when you take city entities the taxpayers been paying for years, they should at least have a vote on that. It shouldn't be left up to the politicians.
You know, sir, let me just say this to you. I listen to my brother and call every day. I got a little talk show myself. I'm on Facebook and all this other stuff. Shame on us because we didn't vote, brother.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. We gave up our power. And now we want revisionists, and now we talking about what Mike Douglas done to us. You know, he's over this and over that, and then when y'all let Snyder get in, you have some folk in leadership voted for Snyder. So I don't get it. We want to call on these radio shows and talk about this and that, but we need to look ourselves in the mirror.
Yeah, Snyder was vulnerable the last time he ran.
Vote or because we have a Republican legislator up there. Is that the problem?
No, the problem is we have a civic duty and a responsibility to elect people who going to adhere to our interests. Now, we go get people.
Get off the phone. I know you got plenty of people call. I want to say this here. And if that's the case, how come when the people ask the governor if she gonna try to do something about the retirees' pension and the insurance situation, why is it the first thing a Democrat governor, if she in office, and you got a Republican legislator, well, I can't do this because the Republicans leading the Senate and stuff like that. Why did they tap dance and put that on the other party? And if you're supposed to be the head man,
but look at what she did. She came out with a proposal. She said, whether you like it or not, it was 45 cents, right? Everybody said that's dead in the water, but they aren't giving anybody any other solutions. In fact, the Republicans they still haven't given her a real solution other than trying to raid some pension fund in order to fund some of the roads.
You know, the bottom line is that you still got to govern. You still got to mobilize people. See, the problem is, when mobilizing people, you got to have a personality that can go out and engage the citizenry to try to change things.
I was thinking, though, the one thing I like about a point that Ben brought up was that about referendums, that people maybe should be able to vote on more things. But the other end of that is that people need to be better informed. And what we have a lot of times is something ends up on the ballot and people don't even hear about it until they show up and they see it printed on their ballot, like when they had the whole vote on whether or not to open the charter to revision. Not a word about it except maybe on the show. And then, you know, the next thing we know, we got this ongoing drama involved with the charter revision.
Yeah, well, people but the problem is, and people don't realize that we are a republic. We're not a true democracy like Greece, where you would go and vote on every single issue. You put people in office to represent your interest, and they're there to make sure that they vote in your interest. And a lot of times, people get caught up in other things. Insurance companies and other lobbyists come in, and they're able really to influence what's going on. And we are in a republic, and you're not going to change that. You're not going to have a true democracy in terms of vote on every issue, a town hall meeting. What you're supposed to do is have the people that represent you represent your interests, and it's on all levels, Congress to city council to the state legislature. And a lot of times they just go a different direction. And it brings up another issue that the caller raised, is they said, well, you know, the Republicans are going to stop this and do that. Yeah, you hear all these Democratic candidates saying, I'm going to do this and do that for the president, but okay, what's plan B? Because if the Senate says, I'm not going along with it because Mitch McConnell's still there.
Moscow Mitch.
Yeah, what's plan B now that you said I have all these plans, but it's obviously not going to pass the Senate. He's not going to even let there be a vote on it. So what do you do now? And what's the next plan at that point? You don't hear. All right, Bayri, I'm sorry, you're on with the panel here.
Hey there, I'd like to say there's two scandals under Barack Obama. I'd like to start off with Eric Holder.
Oh, the Fast and Furious?
Yeah, right. That's something that the Republican Party created. They created that, man.
They gave guns to the Mexicans.
No, and Ollie North, Ronald Reagan.
And that program was started under Bush. Yeah. You know that? That program was started under Bush. Do you know that?
Number two scandal. They used.
Go ahead. Oh, he cut off.
He cut his own self off. God was telling him.
We did not cut you off.
We didn't do it.
No, God cut him off.
Yeah, right. Blame me.
Okay. Ray, you're on. Ray?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Oh, hey, yeah, when you talk about welfare, I mean, you got to look at what the government has done for the white farmers. When you look at the black farmers, a lot of them weren't able to pay those loans back. They got a lot of loans. They didn't get a lot of subsidies and grants. That's one of the biggest welfare systems, to the farmers when they couldn't sell.
And then he gonna give him some more too because of the tariff. Yeah. He just gave him $15 billion.
You're talking about corporate welfare,
right? But you got to look at what are the black farmers? Are they receiving their fair share? But I think with this last tweet Trump made about Rashida and whether you like it or not, her grandma, I think that people have to really look at that. Is this man, is he really a mental case? I mean, a serious mental illness on the verge of having a serious break.
Hold on, Omarosa and the guy that used to be his communication director, they said something they really need. He needs a 24-hour watch.
Oh, his former press secretary? Yeah. It's an Italian last name. I can't think of it.
Or something.
We don't need him to validate it. We look at this at ourselves. We see it in real time. We don't have to have no one validate it. I mean, this is a state of mental health in terms of the breakdown of this. This man's about to have a nervous breakdown eventually because he's going to say something is going to be.
Hold on.
But I think that this is just what he said about this woman's grandmother, talking about only one wins is her grandmother and it's good trying to see her granddaughter. I mean, any person in their right mind, even a woman, grandmother, I mean, they have to look at this case. Hold on. This is like, we got to really look at the state of the mental of the country. I mean, this is like ridiculous what he said.
Hey, but look at this, sir.
Right. Even Hitler would, I don't think
but sir, didn't he say guns was a mental we need to put more money in mental illness? He should be the first one.
Mental health. Yeah.
Mental health. He should be the first one to go to a psychiatric treatment.
Right. He would know a mental case because if you weren't yourself, you would identify the next.
Hold on, Bob. We got one solution.
He doesn't really control more guns than the average guy walking in a gun store.
Remember, that's what the Attorney General was trying to say. Wear wire going to the White House
and what he had to say about and record him what he had to say. Ray. But I don't think. But I think he's more. he's more clever than people actually give him credit for. I think that he always tries to raise an issue when he's in trouble on another one.
Yes, that's true.
Hey, Bob, all high so-called intelligent mental people seem to be clever. Jeffrey Dahmer, Son of Sam, the other guy, Helter Skelter, Charles Manson. I mean, they
Charles
appear
Manson.
to be really, Charles Manson, really be clever people. But their mental state, Hitler, he seemed to be a clever person. But cleverness, and look at the underlying factors that lead up to the cleverness, look at their actions. Yeah, they sound clever, but look at their actions and their words. I mean, anybody can see this is a crazy case. But my point I wanted to make about the lady said about the black-on-black crime. I mean, we can't deny that there's an issue of self-hate, lack of love in the black community, even where when you see the kids hanging out downtown from between 18 and 25. Where do they have to go to take out their frustration and anger and their disappointment when the community see all this blight? I mean, there's nothing positive. I mean, most of these communities. I mean, where can a black person go, or a young black male or black female go between those ages? Where could they go to exert that energy, that hyper energy? Can you name any place they can go in the community, in the neighborhood? I mean,
well, you can, like with Keith, he has the baseball camps. He has a number of recreational opportunities that he's trying.
18 to 25. 18 to 25.
We got programs for 18 to 25.
Yeah.
Okay, my point is that, okay.
He had the Soul Day. I mean, if you
I'm
want
looking
to
at the Soul Day hat and shirt here.
Yeah, you had the Soul Day. I mean, there's areas they can actually participate if they want to do it.
You know, like Big Sean. Hold on, sir.
Name me two places.
Sir, Big today, just yesterday, Big Sean, the Detroiter, went to Cass Tech. He's
went to Waldorf, too.
Yeah, he's opened up a music studio in Boys and Girls Club on Tireman, and they're trying to address the mental health issue. As you read the paper today, go get your paper and read it. It's got some informative stuff.
Yeah, I read the paper every Sunday.
Just read that article. Read that article.
But my point is that it's an issue that needs to be addressed.
We got, hold on, and me and Bob remember this, we got the Wayne County Mental Health Authority. There's programs down there
that will help you. Yeah, if you really want to participate.
Okay, now what about the kids that don't seem to appear to have a mental illness issue?
We got to find programs.
Kids, I mean, they put.
So, sir, this is what I feel about the youth. We got so many programs. We all need to coordinate our programs, and so the kids can really get some services. We had a wonderful program in the county when Bob was the county exec. We had pass money where we gave nonprofits money to deal with the kids from age 7 to 17 who are vulnerable to the juvenile justice system. And there were some wonderful programs out there, reading programs, sports programs, art programs, and things like that. So there's some good stuff out there.
And what about part-time employment?
I know Ben the poll, he's done a lot of things too. But we're saying that where could these youth between 18 and 25 go to just enjoy themselves, enjoy life, enjoy the prosperity of the city? Okay, I'm not saying programming. There's a lot of programming like skills training. I'm involved with that stuff. I'm saying where can they go to just enjoy themselves?
Well, I'm in the process of creating an entertainment center on one of my properties. And I'm looking for youth that's got talent. Because remember, Motown was the mecca where, the Supremes and Temptations started in the projects. And guess what? Their life mushroomed into multi-mega stars. We got the talent in Detroit, but they need the venue. I was talking to a brother yesterday. Why can't we bring a Motown back? Which the Big Sean got a little studio over there. But kids need to go and have places where they can go and explore their possibilities.
Now, my last point, I got a background in entertainment. I'd like to talk to you further about your program. And you got Kevin A. Dale. I mean, here's Kevin A. Dale. He got the black radio station serving predominantly the black community. He's trying to build an entertainment. Why can't he get involved, put his resources in, his connections, put his power behind something like that? I mean,
I think he's much more active than you probably realize that he is in a number of programs that he helps sponsor and is part of. He does it through a number of channels to make sure that
I think this radio station itself is a wonderful service to the community.
Yeah. I mean, look at
is the 17 to 25-year-olds, are they listening? Are they hearing this?
Hey, brother, I you know what I learned about this business?
I hope so.
I can drink. I can take you to the water, but I can't make you drink it.
You're right.
And a lot of people, a lot of young people now, it's not necessarily listening to a radio station. It's their iPhone. I mean, that's in the social media. That's how you got to learn to capture a lot of.
Oh, and I was going to bring up about the electronic involvement in childhood development. Both me and Big Sean actually went to the same grade school, not at the same time, so we weren't classmates. But it's the Waldorf School in Detroit. And one unique thing about the education system that we experienced was that the first, during the elementary grades, there is no inclusion of technology on purpose in the curriculum. And there is no computers, no television, no radio. And there weren't computers around when I went, but no television, no radio. And the students come out intellectually very adept and very able to adapt to technology quickly.
Oh, that's because they're on their phone
they're
all the
learning
time
more quickly without being connected electronically.
Hey, yesterday I was driving down Greenfield. I saw a back-to-school rally. And I got out the car, and somebody created a stage. This young lady had a little piano, and she was singing beautifully. But then I saw these kids driving a car, Bob. They created a car driven by battery. Oh, man, it can get up to about 40 miles an hour, man. And these kids come from King High School.
You got to introduce them to the Engineering Society of Detroit.
It's not ingenuity into the kids. I mean, they just need an atmosphere like a virtual reality, a systems, AR. They need just to learn the technology aspect in terms of how the technology works. Yeah. Once they understand how it actually works, then they'll be creative themselves like they did with hip hop and rap music. And they just took it to another whole nother level. Once they understood how it works. But what's the influence on the entertainment system?
Just give me a call because I'm building an entertainment venue where it's going to see 1,000 people, and I'm looking for young talent. I want kids with R&B, can sing R&B. I don't want to deal with rap. That's another genre that I don't want to deal with. Yeah. I want to deal with those kids that they need to learn about Marvin Gaye and Gladys Knight. They need to sing them kind of songs, and they'll get more attraction. They'll attract me. You know what I'm getting at? My age group.
Now, I look at more like kids out that want to be musicians, like actually play music instruments, or more like the technology type component.
I want technology because I learned in this business, if you ain't got good sound people, you won't have a good.
You're not gonna make it.
You ain't gonna have a good show.
Ray, I appreciate it. We got a number of callers. We're gonna start lining them up. Have a great Sunday.
What's the contact information? What's the information?
313-215-4121.
All right. Talk to you.
Thanks, Pastor Hunter. Pastor, you're on with the panel.
Thank you for not keeping me for church time.
You got your camera.
To Keith and Ficano. You know what? People don't know if they don't participate, they can't relate. So you call with all this crazy stuff because you ain't out there. Yesterday, out in Inkster, major programs. Sean over on Greenfield, major programs. You talked about the one on Greenfield. There's another one on the east side. There's things we can't make. Look, I can't say it enough. It's these mamas and daddies. And quit talking about an absent daddy. It still starts with the mama. My mama used to say, when you lay down with that boy, if you walk away, it ain't nobody's fault but yours. Because if you're going to be a part-time, you know what I want to say, you're going to get a long-time benefits of a full-time home. We've got to realize that the parenting, and I'm not throwing it all on the parenting, because you got to have programs. But Keith, we were disciplined before we left the house. Don't tell me about no crazy energy coming out the house and where they going to take it. Hell, why they got it? Why mama cussing out somebody in front of I'm in the store yesterday. And mama cussing out somebody in front of her 3 kids. So what are the kids learning?
But you know something.
You got to give it to Robert Ficano. When Robert was at the jail, he was in the churches, he was in the community service. Benny is doing the same thing. We got responsible leaders. The problem is we don't have responsible followers. because wherever there's a followership, the leadership falls in line. Keith, you're right. You're absolutely right. We got an administration that is Democratic with almost 70% Republican who hate everything, including their own wives. I don't know how a Republican wife can even stay married when a Republican wants to take away every right you got. What kind of Kool-Aid are they drinking? The only thing they haven't did is to gave everybody a plane ticket to Ghana and said we're going to drink the Kool-Aid. So my hands go off to you. I'm rushing to go preach, but I had to after I heard you got to what we going to do as Angie. Hell, shut them up. Sit them down. Teach them some discipline. Teach them some patience. Teach them to respect.
Pastor, we appreciate it.
We don't kill Keith. If we don't teach them when they walk in the door, pull your pants up. When they walk in the door, comb your hair. These are the things we were taught at home. Wash your ears. Don't come. I mean, I'm walking through the Boys and Girls Club, and it's like, pockets of must. And,
did you mean?
It was a hot day. It was a hot day. I give it that. But I walked through the same crowd. I wasn't musty. We have no conscience about respecting ourselves and then respecting others.
Were you referring to Guyana and not Ghana? Because Guyana is the place in South America where Jim Jones had the Kool-Aid cult, and Ghana is a country in Africa.
I think it was Ghana that they were saying they're shipping back to. Pastor, we appreciate it. I know you got to get going to church, okay? We have other callers. Thank you
so much.
Have a great Sunday. Okay.
Keith, don't you give up. Keith, don't you give up. I know it's a fight, but we did, just like they celebrating Emmanuel Stewart today with the street naming, it was many fights he lost to get to the ones that he won. So don't you give up. And thank you for showing your presence, Robert Ficano. Thank you for still being here. And you could have just went off into the sunset and went off to Mexico somewhere. Oh, no, you don't want to go to Mexico. But Keith,
I like Michigan.
I do too. I love it. Don't get up.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor
love
Hunter.
You all, and keep up the faith.
Okay, thank you. You have a great Sunday. Appreciate it. Jimmy, you're on with the panel. Jimmy?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call. I got a question for you guys. Other than illegal aliens, whose life has gotten any better under the Democrats? And also,
if you work for Ford, Chrysler, or General Motors, you can start with them.
Yeah, that's true. And I'll tell you something else, what you could thank Franklin Roosevelt for, Medicaid, Social Security, the fair labor wage. Just look at hold on, all I know about the Republican Party, civil rights, all I know about the Republican Party is tax cuts, and wars.
Actually, I know a lot of people's life has gotten better under Democratic regimes, but also under Republican regimes.
Tax cuts are ruining this country. You can't get nothing for free, sir. You cannot get nothing for free. You guys are destroying this country.
That's your party. You got 23 candidates trying to offer everything in the world.
And guess what? And what is Donald Trump doing? He's offering the tariffs. He's offering money to the farmers after he's putting them out of business.
I mean, you think he should be giving them
even playing field because we've been getting taken to the cleaners by these
man, you got hold on. Can I say this? Give me your tired, your huddle masses yearning to be free. You got. Let me tell you something. Some of your folk came over the boat, okay? And so now y'all scared. Hold on, guys. You know what this is all about? You're scared that the country is becoming the dominant minority. Y'all are scared. That's why y'all want walls. That's why y'all want abortions. That's why y'all want to curtail abortions. Because y'all scared.
I kind of like to answer Jimmy's question.
Boogeyman.
All right, one at a time here. We're all breaking into it.
We push you back down.
All right, Jimmy, obviously you're a Trump supporter.
Absolutely.
Okay. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with what Donald Trump is doing. Okay, and the problem is people don't want to acknowledge that. Look at his speech pattern. How it's gone down to like an 8th grade level.
He's ignorant. He's ignorant.
Jimmy's question originally was whose life has gotten better under Democratic
Don't listen to what I say. Look at what I do. And
what has he done?
What's he done?
What has he done?
What has he done?
He's taking Barack Obama, the one got the economy going. He's taking Barack Obama's economy and lying about it.
You guys said that when he took office, the economy is going to tank.
No. The economy. Hold on, sir. Let's look at this. Let's be honest about this. George W. Bush, the automotive industry was tanking. He saved, Barack Obama extended it. They saved the automotive industry. He brought peace and tranquility in this country. Then you come get this redhead, this strawberry-haired bagoon, and he's destroying the country.
I was going to say that.
The fact that you guys got to beat on that guy every week.
Yeah, he's ignorant.
Wait a minute. He beats on people every day with his tweets.
There's no optimism in the Republican Party either.
Jimmy, I think people's life has gotten better under Democratic regimes, under Republican regimes, under a lot of regimes, but not because of the regime, but because of other things they do in life and because of other things other people do in their lives. I don't think the particular party that has a majority in power at a given time is the decider on who can make their life better.
Yeah, I disagree with that because you look at what the auto industry went through.
Yes,
you had the wrong guy in that public office. Those two companies would have gone under.
If you'd have had Donald Trump during that time, it really went under.
It would have been a difference not about the industry going under, but about particular companies going under and other companies taking over the auto industry.
Barack Obama, George W. Bush saved the automotive industry, and you guys railing against it, but you're getting a check from them. That's what I don't get, Bob. They get checks from them.
That's Obama. All those shovel-ready projects, that's Obama. Those bike road paths that are in Detroit.
So let me ask you a question. Hold on. Your boy, Donald Trump has bankrupt companies fine. Hold on, man. Hold on. In the normalcy, every president that ran for office gave their tax returns. What's wrong with Donald Trump getting off his tax return? What he's got to hide?
Wow.
What does he have to hide? I'm asking you, what does he have to hide?
Remember that foolish program? What a ridiculous program, Cash for Clunkers? That was
I'm asking you, what has Donald Trump got to hide?
What do you mean he's got to hide?
Why didn't he show his taxes?
Why didn't he show his taxes? Why don't he show his taxes? Every president, every president has
no requirement to show your taxes.
Hold on. He's talking about he's billionaire. He's a fraud. He's not a billionaire. He's been. Hold on. I saw this with a show back in the day. They had to put him on allowance. The bankers had to put him on allowance because he couldn't run his affairs.
That's how he
how does Obama go from a few $100,000 a year to now?
Yes, he does like everybody else.
He did like Clinton's and everybody else. He gets out of office and they sell books.
He sell books. Hey, brother, you live good under Obama's administration. You live good under Obama's administration. Hey, guess what? You live good too. You live good too. Didn't you?
How did it feel when those 20 Democrats raised their hand over illegal aliens over the black people?
Hey, man, let me tell you this, brother. Brother, I'm proud to be a black man. Hold on, I'm proud to be a black man.
Okay, we got to get to break. Jimmy, thanks for calling in.
You got pushed to the back of the line by your party.
No.
Yeah,
right. Okay, Nathan, Tim, Winnette, hold on. We're going to be right back to you after the break. You listen to 910 AM Superstation.
This is Reverend Sharpton, and on the last Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh, I just don't count the votes. They're not there when the vote. They just get.
I just answered you before, sir, that I know thousands of people that are in the rooms when the votes come in. Every candidate has people in the room. When I've run, I have people in the room. Everybody running is going to have people in the room when the count comes in. The question is making sure we get the right count. The count does not come from them counting ballots. The count comes through technology. This is not 1890. We're not having people at the courthouse standing in line or the schoolhouse and you see the ballot. The question is making sure you have the right voting companies, that they're not hacked or not in any way eliminated. You could have everybody in the world in the room. They will be in the room getting the wrong numbers. So keep it real daily with me, Al Sharpton.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-379-4799, 800-379-4799.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-436-2907. That's 1-800-436-2907.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful. That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
Listen up, America. Are you or a loved one suffering with an addiction to alcohol, opiates, prescription painkillers, or other drugs? There is hope. Medication-assisted treatment is proven most effective for opiate addiction recovery. Utilizing medications such as methadone, Suboxone, and Subutex, combined with inpatient treatment, you can achieve lasting recovery. Most insurance is accepted, so call us now. Please call 800-625-5860.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage.
Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you can save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present. When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium. When I grow up, I want to be a warm place on a cold day. When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash. I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
We're the hottest station in town. Whatever you need, it's right here on 910 AM Superstation. The most powerful voices in the urban community. The most powerful voices in the African American community are all right here on the new 910 AM Radio Superstation. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit, 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media.
Good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano, here with Keith Williams and with Scotty Boman. We have a number of callers lined up, so let's get to them right now. Nathan, you're on with the panel.
Good morning, Mr. Ficano on your panel. And everybody think Orange Cheetah to stand up all night tweeting when he gave that assignment to somebody else because the student playing tweet nobody. He can't spell, but he cannot complete a sentence.
Now that is true.
That's true. Yeah, he has a lot of issues, though. Unfortunately, it affects a lot of people in this country.
And for us to lead on to Israel, you know, Begum or whatever his name is, he came to the United States and gave a speech against Obama and his policies, but you can't say nothing about him. You anti-Semitic and you hate Israel. Did they say he hate America?
But guess what he said? He told the white supremacist Virginia that we had good, you had good on both sides. But if you listen to the crowd, they said hate. They were talking about hate Jews and stuff.
I think what we should do is stop the welfare and fix our infrastructure.
Well, I think we can do both, actually. I mean, in terms of those that need public assistance. I mean, we've always been a compassionate country.
No, I heard a conversation the other morning on this station where they're talking about the welfare to immigrants, getting food stamps and health care, but they agree with stopping the welfare. But stop the welfare to Israel. How much welfare we get Israel every year?
We're the biggest contributor.
There's the connection.
Contributor to Israel. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and it was earlier, I think it may have been Bob who pointed out that, well, maybe they should be a little careful of how they treat our legislators since they're the ones controlling the purse strings.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should stop it. Orange Cheetah said America first, didn't he?
Yeah, but guess what? You know, now Israel should come clean too with all this stuff that's happened to the Palestinians, those people
on the West Bank.
In the West Bank, man, that ain't kosher, man.
Well, they didn't want them two to come over there because they're gonna see the real thing. They're gonna come back and tell it. They're not gonna be quiet, and that's the reason they didn't want them over there. You know, just like when we had a fair here and they round up all the homeless people and took them to the border and dropped them off somewhere. They don't want you to see certain things. They bring you in, they take you downtown, but they ain't gonna take you back to Bewick. Huh?
Well, when they had the golf tournament, Keith was telling us about what they were doing to the buildings, sort of like what they did around the Super Bowl.
They put cloths all around the Winers Church, all down 7 Mile. It's like putting perfume on a pig.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all have a good one.
Wearing that bow tie.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Nathan. Have a great
Yeah, I remember
Sunday.
back when they had the Super Bowl, I think they had like some kind of like signs or something when you're out going along the People Mover in places to block any abandoned building.
Oh, yeah, they were covering up a lot of the blight.
When you go into the golf venue, they have some good food. I don't know where they got that food from.
But you went with like, you know, the thing about calling Israel out on how they're treating Palestinians, as soon as you do that, though, what ends up happening is you suddenly have a whole bunch of people descending on you, accusing you of being anti-Semitic or, speaking hate and all kinds of other stuff, which is completely wrong.
But then you got black Jews. They were running black Jews out of there, too.
Yeah,
they were courting them off. But I am a supporter of Israel, okay? But like I'm a supporter of the United States, but we got some problems, right?
Yeah.
And we should be able to discuss it in an intelligent manner without people trying to throw rocks at you and stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly. There's no civil debate anymore.
No.
I mean, that's that used to be the axiom of the Senate, but now they don't even have debate in the Senate anymore.
No.
So
not with Moscow Mitch.
Okay, Tim, you're on with the panel here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was gonna take a little bit of issue with the talking about the Republicans and Democrats doing all these great things for the economy, and the business people, we do everything in the economy. It's not the politicians or legislators. We're the ones that do everything. We're the ones that put the work in. We're the ones that grow the economy.
You're right about that, but there's policies that can
interfere with that.
But there's policies that can impact it, right? The feds can raise your interest rate.
Hurt it. That's what they do.
Hey, brother.
But the government does things. The feds can raise your interest rate, which will affect how your business is run.
Hey, guy, the only way you stay in business is access to capital. And if you can't get capital cheap, your prices go up. You got the same soapbox every week about business around the country. It's business and people interacting with each other creates an economy.
Right. You're right, Keith. Interacting. Two groups. Then the government's the outlier. They come in and interfere it and distort it. And
and I think the monetary system was a good point as far as the controlling the interest rates in the Federal Reserve System. We really should have money that is not manipulatable by a group like the Federal Reserve Board. We really need to go back to a gold standard.
Places like China devalue their currency and everything else, which impacts the imports and exports and things like that of goods that are made in this country. So,
but a lot of things that have hurt the import and export is the tariff situation and trade agreement.
Now, Jordan,
it's funny how
I get your point. Donald Trump the one putting tariffs on everything.
Well, I know it's funny how, and I'm not for the Trump things or any of that, but it's kind of odd how we'll have restrictions against countries coming into this country, yet we always say how it's unfair over there, they're subsidizing it. We got our Dairy Association is being heavily subsidized.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Now, I'm going to ask you about fairness, okay? You get, you're a white business, I'm a black business. You go to that same bank, he gives you better interest rates, and I got the same credit score that you have. You think that's right?
Yeah. I didn't follow you, Keith. Go ahead.
I say this is what I'm saying. You go to a bank. This is happening.
Two separate businesses.
Two separate businesses. And you go to the bank, we got the same credit scores, but you get better interest rates, and and my interest rates, I don't get the same interest rates you get. Is that right?
Well, it depends on how they do the criteria. Because when I go to the bank, they look at your tax returns.
I'm saying, I get that.
Involved. So if all those things is the same, and exactly the same, no, it wouldn't be equitable. But then again, let's face it, you've got two business interests that are privately or publicly owned, well, privately owned. They should be able to do whatever they want. Now,
hold on, but I'm going to say this to you, sir. There's certain things that we do need some government control over the environment and things like that. You cannot keep polluting the world, and it's a lot of environmental justice in these communities that people getting cancer and all this other stuff. So there should be some regulations, but I should be able to make money too. But the bottom line is this: when it's all said and done, brother, we're gonna all leave this earth, and I want to leave a legacy to my grandkids.
I know. I'm all for it. Hey, I don't like what's going on down from here with the marathon plants. Every driven through there, it smells like crap. You know, it shouldn't be like that. And look at the Rouge River. You look at an aerial view of the Rouge River dumping into Detroit River. I mean, it doesn't look right. There's two different colors there. I mean, I don't know if that's the silt or what it is, but I mean, there's a plant there. There's all kinds of manufacturing there, industrial.
You sound like you sound like a reasonable guy. Look down in Mississippi. Them people living in them chicken plants, they get deported, but the guy who brought them over there is using it, making money off of it. Nothing happens to him.
I know. I'm telling you, that's government. You got the EPA. Look at the Flint thing. That should have been corrected a long time ago. Yet,
hold on, it's happening in New Jersey now.
Yeah, but
it's happening in New Jersey.
Tim, you raised Flint. And the interesting part is that Governor Snyder ran on the platform, we're going to run government like a business, right? He kept getting the numbers back, and the numbers said, the water's okay, right? I'll tell you what, a politician would have realized that General Motors said, you know what, we're not going to use the water because it's corroding our engines. A politician would have said, I don't care what these reports are that you're telling me. If there's corroded engines out of the water, something's wrong.
If General Motors would take,
I think there's a
point
key
about the engines. If General Motors would put their product in that will get water for their product, then why would you get at the human being?
There's a key distinction that comes up here, and that is the difference between government trying to be a business and government providing oversight to the activities of business.
Right.
And the problem is what we got now under our capitalist system is often the government is being the business and competing with private businesses or in bed with private businesses rather than being in an oversight role and being detached from
Scotty,
the
you know what's
businesses.
interesting, Scotty? But the same guys that rail against business try to get government contracts all the time.
Yeah, not only that, all you got to do is...
and that's part of the problem.
But government has to be engaged, right? Look at what Boeing did with that airplane.
Yeah.
They knew that there was some type of faulty... I just saw an article yesterday in the Wall Street Journal. They said, well, we thought that the pilots would be able to adjust to any type of malfunction that we see. Who puts their product out like that, hoping that the pilots are going to be able to react quick enough in order to, when the plane was malfunctioning? It shouldn't have to malfunction to begin with.
Yeah, that's a strange argument.
There are people in the EP. There are people in the EPA, I'm sure, that have worked in the industries that the EPA was supposed to monitor, and I think there's a lot of, I mean, even in the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, I'm sure there's people, there are directors or people that in that regulatory agency that have been prior energy executives. So I think we've got some conflicts of interest, and the EPA should have superseded anything and went into the
your friend is running EPA as a lobbyist. He was a former Republican lobbyist. He's running EPA right now.
Government agency, right, Keith? Isn't that a government agency? The guys you're protecting. I mean, there's cronyism.
He's not protecting him. He's saying that the people at the top promoted him into that position.
Yes, see, this is the problem. Donald Trump just appointed this guy to EPA. He was a government lobbyist for the Republican Party. Is that a big conflict of interest or not?
Before Trump, don't bring Trump into this.
Hold on, no. Listen, Listen what's happening in Alaska. Those salmon, they cut a deal. Man, and turning the salmon that we eat that are dying because of a certain the heating of the ocean or the water over there. The salmons can't survive in that because they keep polluting the air.
And that last tax reform act that they had, that wasn't passed to benefit anybody. The last 2 pages of that would allow the oil companies to drill in the ANWR. That's why that.
I understand that. My taxes went up. I don't know when they passed. I think my taxes have gone up.
My taxes
Mine have too.
A
lot. Worse than ever in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, about how effect it had on you, but it did enrich a lot of people. There's a lot of different goofy things in there.
If you're top 1%,
if you're top 1%, you got paid, man. Listen to this, man. They took about $10,000-$15,000 from me. And I wound up owing the government $5,000. So come on, man. Don't be talking about this.
That's what happened to me. I ended up having this huge tax debt after doing my tax return. I'm like, where did that come from?
I have not received a refund, and I don't know when.
I got refunds when Obama was president, but not now.
Huh?
I'm sure it benefited some families,
What family? $200, man.
But I'm saying that I can guarantee that plan was passed because they've been trying to drill in the ANWR forever. And they just threw it in there. Nobody even saw it. I didn't hear any of our legislators saying anything against the Democrats.
Hold on.
Part of it is they don't read it.
Yeah, did Corker, the outgoing senator, he did a deal for real estate, and that affects his damn portfolio.
I know. That's my point. I mean,
But sir, the realistic thing is we can't get rid of government, so we got to work with government and put people in there. We can talk all day with this one, man, but the reality is government's going to always be there.
We need to scrutinize better.
I'm not a fatalist.
Role needs to be reduced by 99%. We do not need them in every aspect of our life. And I think next week we should go over with the Roosevelt thing, with the New Deal and the Social Security, because the Social Security thing was nothing but a big money grab for the government.
No. Social Security helped a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. So
it helps those who get in on the ground floor of the pyramid.
Ken, thanks for calling. We got to go to break. We appreciate it. We got a number of callers. Friend Wynette, hold on. We're going to be to you right after the break. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation.
Yep.
Home, life, and auto. Claims that are unfortunately routinely denied by insurance companies. Since 1996, I have successfully represented thousands of victims whose insurance claims were denied. If I can be of service to you, call me, Attorney Carl Collins III.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you call now.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. The Fresh Start program is one of the biggest tax breaks the IRS has offered. Call Tax Group Center at 800-685-6150 to see if you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. Their team of tax experts and attorneys will get you the best tax settlement possible. Call 800-685-6150 now to learn if you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. Call Tax Group Center at 800-685-6150. 800-685-6150.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Crime Stoppers helps solve crime. Hi, this is Dan DiBardino, president of Crime Stoppers of Michigan, asking you to help us continue our work in keeping your neighborhood safe. Each year, more and more families turn to us for help seeking justice for their loved ones. Please help us by donating through our website, 1-800-SPEAK-UP.org. Any amount will help us. We are helping families every day, and you can too. Again, the website to donate is 1-800-SPEAK-UP.org.
Stay up to date with current events and breaking news on our Facebook page. Search and like 910 AM Superstation on Facebook, and you'll see everything new, everything exciting, and all things Detroit. 910 AM Superstation News on Facebook Live right now.
Good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano, on with Keith Williams and Scotty Boman.
Good morning.
Next up is Wynette. Wynette, you're on with the panel.
Hi. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I listen to talk radio a lot, not just this station, others too. And I think people just don't want to accept reality. You know, it's just amazing to me. But think about, for all the Trump lovers, okay, think about this. This man, I think it's been documented that he's lied over 10,000 times.
They can't add it up enough.
I mean, who would want to even associate with a liar like that? You can't believe anything he says. And then, you know, I can just go back. I remember when he was throwing paper towels at people that he was trying to rescue. I mean,
that was in Puerto Rico, I think. I can't remember what it was, yeah. One of the hurricanes.
But would you want someone to throw a paper towel at you when you've lost everything that you had in your life? I mean, what kind of compassion is that? I think that we need compassionate leaders, okay? We need people that care. And to me, one of the biggest things about him I don't like is the fact that he doesn't care, and he's ignorant.
And did you see what they did to them shell workers the other day? They made the union workers props, and they said you had to take, if you wanted overtime, you had to go to this union rally with Shell. Yeah.
You mean the rally for Trump?
Yeah, the rally for Trump. It was a prop.
I heard they got paid.
Yeah, I mean,
they got paid overtime then. Yeah.
If they didn't go, they wouldn't get paid overtime. They wouldn't get paid.
If they didn't go, they didn't get nothing.
They didn't get nothing.
They didn't get a pay. They weren't even paid for the day. But I'm just saying, what is wrong with people? It's amazing to me how and you know what?
You know what I think, sister? All because that black man got elected to the White House. That's why you're getting that. That's why you're getting this reverberation around the country. Obama scared them. Damn, we got a black man in the Purity House. That's what happened.
They couldn't handle it.
They couldn't handle it. And plus, it went so well, he didn't cause any problems. They said, damn.
Right, because he had character. And they didn't know how to accept that.
Yes. He had character. Nobody got no drama with Obama. He was smooth. Donald Trump's hairstyle. Right. He don't even look natural.
With the white eyes, though, that's what I'm talking about. And you know something? He's always offending people.
Well, he's an egomaniac. He can't stand for anybody else to have attention but him.
Okay?
They probably sleep in separate rooms, man, at the White House.
I'm sure. But you know what, Keith, on one
She never looks happy, does she?
She never looks happy.
She never looks happy.
And Bob, she's not. Okay, I'm a woman, and I know she's not. You can tell what her body language. She can't stand the guy. Okay.
Then his son's gonna be just like him.
His son already is.
And that's terrible. But you know what? He's ignorant, and when someone is ignorant, there's nothing you can do. Really, you can talk all day, and all his supporters are ignorant as well.
Well, you can educate them.
Well, you can try, but I think
you can't
think the supporters are baked in.
And you got to be careful. Obama said all they want to do is cling to their guns and their religion. You know? So we got to be careful. Hillary said, what did she say
deplorable.
about
She called them
deplorables? You know,
the deplorables. Okay, and she wasn't lying. But Steve, let me say something to you. I was very happy to hear about you starting this venue for children in music.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to, seriously, on the serious side, I want to create a youth Motown.
Yeah. Well, let me add this to you, okay? Let me add this to what you're going to do. Make sure that you include business.
I am.
To run a business.
Yes. He's a businessman himself, so that's important to him.
Yeah, you got to take my number and stay in touch with me about that. You know, you just gave me a brilliant side of this.
You just had an inspiration.
I just, you know, the Holy Spirit is always talking, you know.
Oh, yeah, and you know what, Chief? You know, I'm going to get with you because I would like to even work with you on it. You know, I'm sure there's some things that I can help you with.
Yeah, I want to get the youth, but I also want a venue for people our age to relax, drink wine. I want no hard liquor. I just want a place where they can relax, hear some good music, and think about the greatness of the African Americans. I'm gonna put a mural on my back of the great black the jazz artists and stuff like that, because our kids need to know our history.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is people don't recognize history.
Yes.
Because my little nephew, he's a great athlete. He can play any sport that's out there. Now he's into tennis. I'm going to educate him about Arthur Ashe and Zena Garrison, all the blacks that went through.
Hold on, but I'm going to tell you something. At my Courageous Games, I saw some African American kids can swim. When that girl won the Olympics and the gold medal, there are some kids, these young African Americans, butterfly, all of it were good.
Yes. Okay. And that's what we need to know what we've done, because that will tell us what we can do. And that's what's missing. You know, when the educational system was disrupted in Detroit, a lot was lost. Okay, and that's something that we need to bring back.
I want to create a magazine.
That's a good idea.
I want to create a magazine called The Courageous Athletes of Tomorrow. Yeah,
that's good. That's a good one. But anyway, I want to get with you to, talk about how I can help you.
Okay.
And I love you. I love you guys. Your program is great. Okay.
Hold on, Wynette. Hold on, and you'll get the number. Our producer or our board operator here, Maxine, will give you the number. Thanks for calling in.
Sometimes it's depressing when I listen to some of the people that call in. Oh, my God. But anyway,
that's why it's a talk show.
The door is open and anyone walks in.
Fred, you're on with the panel. Fred?
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Oh, pretty good. I got on a little late, but I did catch the GOP member that was talking, and I wanted to just say they've been demonizing government, ever since Reagan or before, but basically they demonize government and want to privatize everything. You run government like a business, and it's the CEO who makes the decision for you, whether you like it or not, and that's what they've already got right now with all the delegates, all the lobbyists, and what they've done is they've screwed up government and made it such a mess that, just blame it on the Democrats.
That's all Trump does is blame it on the Democrats. He creates his own issues all the time, and when he can't really work his way out of it, he blames the Democrats. That's his basic method of operation.
As the non-Democrat sitting here, I will throw in that I totally agree with what our host here has said, but I also will say that I think the Democrats do the same thing when they have problems when they have problems, they can go and blame the Republicans. So I think it goes both ways.
Okay. Let's say blame whoever. what did they do when Barack Obama got elected? That fathead Mitch O'Connell or
Moscow Mitch.
He said that we're going to make Barack Obama a one-term president. Yeah. That was his goal in the Senate.
Start calling him Moscow Mitch to your friends. Moscow Mitch.
What did? Yeah.
Explain that, Keith. I don't think they understand why.
Because Mitch McConnell, this is what the deal is. Mitch McConnell cut a deal with a Russian oligarch on this mining situation in Kentucky. And he said his home state, and he said he had nothing to do with him, but the guy's giving him money through his campaign operations.
And his wife, who is the director of the Department of Transportation, was in on part of the deal.
Deal, right.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, what did he do the whole 8 years that Obama was in there? He blocked every single thing that Obama wanted to do.
Supreme Court justice.
He stole the Supreme Court justice. He has no shame. Him and Donald Trump is two pigs in the same pot.
Oh yeah. Hey,
used to be two chickens in a pot. I guess we got two pigs in a pot now.
I just wanted to say, what is Mitch O'Connell or Mitch McConnell?
No, Moscow Mitch.
When he
don't like that.
Pearly Gates. Hello? What's Mitch going to say when he gets to the pearly gates?
That's between him and his God. It's hard to tell. You know, I know nothing of his religion, but I know his politics are horrible.
I'm not talking about that. I'm joking. What's he going to say at the pearly gates? Don't tase me, dude. You know, like the guy that yelled out, don't
He's probably going to say, I got a deal for you to let me in. That's probably what he's going to say.
But you know, Bob, you know what gets me? It's just that those folks need to look into the mirror, man. But they don't have no shame. They lie, they scheme, and then they play on people who are vulnerable.
Yeah, they do that all the time. They do that all the time.
I don't like how the media twists the truth, because most of the places are run by very wealthy people, and they twist the news, the actual news.
Fred, I'd say that a lot of people say that the mainstream media actually pounds on Trump pretty good, but it doesn't seem to affect his base very much.
No, his base is only maybe 25-30%.
I hate to say it, but most of his polling keeps coming back at about 40-42% is what it is.
Yeah, if you can believe those polls, which those polls don't add up to nothing. Hillary Clinton won the election, but because of the delegates, she lost the election.
Well, but the Electoral College, Fred, has been around for a long time, and that's the rules that you always play by.
And the pollsters should have taken all that into account.
Yeah, the pollsters actually
3 million. You know, 3 million votes. That's 3 million people.
I know that, but the problem is that Hillary should have been in Michigan. She should have been in Wisconsin. She should have been in Pennsylvania. And you're talking about Michigan, 10,000 votes, which is nothing. That if she would have swayed and gone into that area, she'd be the president today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't want Hillary anyway, but, you know, she was the lesser of the two evils. Look what we got now. We got a wannabe dictator.
If that's your view that you're voting for the lesser of two evils, why didn't you look at the other choices?
Well, I did. You know, Bernie was my guy.
I meant the other choices in the general election. Did you look into Gary Johnson and Bill Weld?
No,
Well, there you go. You got the choices you picked.
But Bill
Weld, hey,
we get on these kicks. Bill Weld wasn't going to win, and Johnson won't win. So why waste your vote?
Well, that's your self-fulfilling prophecy. They would have won if people would have voted for them. And you're saying don't vote for them because they wouldn't have won. That's not really a rational argument.
Okay. Hey, how come in Birmingham, you know, you can walk in and vote, you know, in 15, 20 minutes, and then down in Detroit they got a 4-hour line wrapped around the block.
But you know, I looked at.
I've never seen a 4-hour line wrapped around the block, and I've been voting in Detroit for quite a long time.
Yeah, okay. Pick out about 50
Last time I saw a line like that in Detroit was when the Who was playing at Masonic Temple in the 80s.
Some of the presidential elections, the lines have been
70s.
long for Detroiters to vote and stuff. Some of that has occurred. But, part of it also is the suburbs vote a lot more by absentee ballot, which helps decrease some of the lines. And now with the new Michigan law, you don't need a reason for an absentee ballot. In the past, you had to be out of town or you over 65 or whatever it was that actually drove some of that. So.
Well, in Detroit, it's the early voting things like over at our college, at East Campus. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple weeks, but it's nothing like some of the other states that are really early voting. But a lot of people argue against the early voting because some of the material doesn't come out on the candidates for the last couple of weeks, and then you're stuck with somebody you voted for that you didn't, particularly care for in that whole process. So.
Yeah, well, the one thing I was most concerned with too is the district redistricting to advance the potential of the GOP. That's pretty dirty politics when you take.
Well, the Republican Party has filed a lawsuit. We had a referendum. Okay, Scotty, this speaks to what you said, that the people voted on it. They wanted this commission to be set up, and it passed pretty overwhelming. I mean, I think it got 65-70% of the vote. And now the GOP has filed a lawsuit trying to stop, that referendum or that amendment to the Constitution from taking place because they don't like the new rules. They always were able to control the rules. When they don't control the rules, they've reverted to lawsuits and things such as that.
Oh yeah, I agree totally. I see the people. They're not getting a reliable news source from a trustworthy news outfit, and I was wondering what was that law that made it illegal for news organizations to print untrue stories?
Well, it's a libel law, but Fred, the problem is that the United Supreme Court in it's called the Sullivan case said they set such a high standard that you can say almost anything about a public figure. They've expanded it to what they call public figures. It used to be just people in elected office. Today it's public figures. And so that's why you'll never see a public figure really successfully be able to sue a news organization unless they knew what they were printing was untrue. And that gets real difficult in terms of the law in order to show that. That's why you can say anything you want just about a public figure, and you're not going to be sued for it.
I think that's in the spirit of the First Amendment, is I'm guessing why the judges in that case.
Well, it is a different standard because you can't sue for libel and slander under normal circumstances. Mm-hmm. If you got a business and I'm slandering it, you can sue me because I'm hurting the business and things like that. That, believe it or not, is a lower standard. Still, with the First Amendment thought and everything else, it's a lower standard than what public figures. Keith and I, if you notice, they can say anything they want all the time, and there's not any real liability that's attached to it from that, and that's part of what's happened.
Now, I've heard of defamation lawsuits where sometimes they have public figures have successfully sued, though.
It's rare. It's a real hard standard to meet. So, Fred, we appreciate.
Yeah, I'd say that's part of our problem, or that is a big part of our problem, because whoever the powers be, they want the people divided and fighting each other, and then they just keep on doing their thing, and a few people get killed, that's just the territory. But as long as they're fighting over stupid issues and not paying attention to the issues that should be, like global warming, the infrastructure of this country, voting machines, no technology, or, well, make it simpler where the technology can't be manipulated, and secure the vote, redistricting,
Fred,
Yeah, I don't know if voting on the axial rotation of the Earth or climate cycles and glaciation and that kind of thing is going to really change what Mother Earth is doing.
Well, for one thing, the scientists, 90% of the scientists that aren't
that are getting the government funding and are part of those organizations.
Fred, here's what's going to happen in 2020. When the economy if it starts to decline, it is completely over for Donald Trump. Okay, this is the only thing he's hanging his head on. All the other stuff, global warming, all that other kind of stuff, it might have a little bit of an impact. Believe me, people 90% of the time vote their pocketbook. And that's the thing that you're going to have to watch. And I think that they're starting to realize that Donald Trump is not the savior of the economy like he's indicating that he is.
That's for sure. Yep. But, hey, we got kids, and those kids are going to have to deal with the mess that we made for them, and we better start getting our act together because, man, it's coming.
Okay,
and I don't care what anybody says. The scientists say it's happening, and it will be a global disaster.
Okay. Thanks, Fred. We appreciate it. You have a great Sunday, okay? Keith and Scotty, I want to raise another subject real quick. Liver noise, and there's a lot that seems to be going on that corridor.
Oh, yeah.
And what's happening. Can anybody update us exactly what the issue is?
The bottom line is they took the island out that was put in some years ago by former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. And the whole thing was to try to slow the traffic down because it was a lot of fatalities on liver noise. So let's fast forward. Now they want to put bike paths in and extend liver noise, but the problem is, in the process of doing that, they're putting people out of business.
Yeah, I understand. I hear a lot of businesses are really struggling.
Why couldn't they just leave liver noise alone?
But Bob, this is the deal. It reminds you of Black Bottom. They brought Black Bottom. I got pictures. I can show you the original pictures of Black Bottom. People were living in peace and tranquility. Yeah. And Coble, who was a racist, said he's going to do something differently, and he called it Negro removal.
375.
They're going to original houses of Black Bottom. Okay, and then they came in and destroyed those people's homes with Jeffries Freeway and the Chrysler Freeway. They had businesses, they had housing, it was a family environment, the whole shot, and they came in and destroyed those folks' property. Now they're doing it on liver noise, Bob. They should have had grants. They should have had some short-term, give those folks short-term relief so they could stay in their businesses in the process.
The other day I had we had a department meeting for Wayne County Community College, and there's a restaurant that's there, and so they wanted to get us all to be able to meet in this restaurant. I had a hell of a time trying to get in to that restaurant, and I eventually had to go into the neighborhood to go around into that
unless
restaurant.
There's a compelling reason, people aren't going to do that. They're simply not going to go to the business,
yeah,
and then the business is going to die because the city's projects have cut them off.
But just like anything else, black folks think they're just trying to take the land back. Bob, there's history of it now. Negro removal. This guy just on Livernois and 7 Mile and Livernois, he's building this nice condo. This nice, you ain't going to be able to afford them, okay? I see where it's going, Bob. The rich regentrification on Livernois.
So you think that original businesses aren't going to be able to survive there?
They ain't going to be able to survive, Bob. If it keeps going 6-7 months, how do they survive?
And you think that's a problem with the top-down approach our city government has been taking, is we have a problem where they're not really doing what the people in the communities around where they're doing the development, they're not doing what those people want. What they're doing is what some other people want, probably people with deep pockets want, and that's really calling for the need for us to bring in community advisory councils.
So what's
7th
the
District is the only
of-
one that even has one. And I'm working on creating one in the 4th District.
Bob, you know
what's the purpose of ripping up
for bike paths?
For bike paths, that's why they're putting it in.
And do they ask people if they want the bike paths?
Hold on, Detroit was never a walkable community. Bob, we was based on cars.
Yeah,
mobility. Okay, they want to convert people's way of living to help a privileged few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they want to create this environment, man. This guy.
So how are you going to do it in the wintertime?
I don't know.
I mean,
Bob,
with the bike paths and everything else.
Bob,
I mean,
so
it's a 4, 5, 6 month,
Bob,
7
Bob,
month
those
proposal.
folks. But that's a shame and disgrace. City council and the mayor, they need to come up with a program to help these people sustain their business while they're going through this process.
I mean,
It's wrong.
The other aspect of this, in addition to the fact that a lot of people are hurt and a lot of people may not want a lot of the renovations they're doing on the roads, is that the money that is spent on these projects is extreme. I mean, that's a lot of money that it's costing our city. And what about those pensions that were not reimbursed after the bankruptcy? I mean, I think, if anything, when we have a surplus of money sitting around that we could blow on these projects, maybe we should send some of that to those pensioners.
Bob, it's just like anything else. Look what they did to Wall Street, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Supposedly a black man whistled at a white woman, and it caused a riot, and they took those people's stuff. Once they burned the place out, then they changed the zoning law.
Royal Oak?
No,
Royal Oak
it's
is
the same
another
thing.
one. All of us sitting here today, if you've gone to Ann Arbor and some other places, you're looking for a place to park. I've waited or I've looked, and you creep along real slowly in your car looking to see if somebody's going to pop into the car, and you're waiting for a parking space. Apparently, that's all this African American gentleman was doing.
And even the owner said he shops here to come get a meal. She gave him a meal. Bob, you can't even look now. But see, and then in Alabama, Emmett Till got killed. Even if the lady now says it was a lie, she should go to jail. Okay, but they won't touch her. But I'm just saying, African Americans, we've gone through a lot, Bob. All kinds of discrimination. But this last one is horrible. And what they do on Livernois is horrible, too.
With it.
Royal Oak.
Royal Oak. And Livernois, was that a grant? Or
we
does
don't know.
Anybody know how much it cost?
No, they start now trying to come up with all these different things. Now, I got another one for you, Bob. It's happening in Westland. Shelley Holt, who's the superintendent of Westland School District, she's been
Westwood. I think it's Westwood.
No, it's Westland.
Oh, Westland.
It's
okay.
the Westland School District.
Okay.
These old Donald Trumpsters on the school board is trying to fire her. She brought a millage in. They combined Inkster into their system, and she's going to court on Tuesday. Folks, go down to the court.
It's the Wayne Westland
School District.
Okay.
Bob, it ain't like it used to be. Black folks are living in those communities. And these old white guys don't want to change. This lady brought a millage in, Bob. The money, is always this. Once the money gets there, move that person out so they can put their person in.
Mm-hmm. So what
what I'm saying is,
was she fired?
They suspended her.
Okay.
They suspended her. And they didn't give her, they didn't meet the Open Meetings Act requirements. They just cut their own deals, man.
Okay.
Oh, Open Meetings Act requirements seem to be ignored everywhere these days.
Yes.
Like over at the police commission, where they're still having people identify themselves to attend Board of Police Commissioners meeting in direct violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Bob,
it's a misdemeanor.
Bob, remember, in 1972, Michigan voted for George Wallace. The remnants of George Wallace is still permeating.
But even he eventually converted over, but unfortunately
it was too late, Bob.
It was too late, and he was shot, and I think that had something to do with his new religion.
Bob, they always get religion, man. I think it caused the carnage, man.
With it, that's part of it. Royal Oak was interesting. I understand the Attorney General is going to actually be investigating that.
And Royal Oak's got a history of problems
credit, Bob.
with the police before this.
Oh, yeah, but you got to give Dana Nessel credit. She coming in, man. She ain't mealy mouth like some of our politicians. She coming in with the knife. and I take my hat off to Dana. I support her at the Black Caucus, Bob, but it is what it is.
There have been a couple questionable shootings in Royal Oak by police. And one of the people is Antonino Gordon. Remember, and a friend of mine who was actually an outspoken critic of their policies and of their handling of the situation, actually himself ended up being arrested for protesting what the police were doing in Royal Oak. And then he eventually even had a restraining order against contact with law enforcement in Royal Oak. So they got kind of a weird relationship between the police and the community.
Was Royal Oak the one that had a warrant, didn't call Detroit PD, and went in and executed the warrant in the city of Detroit?
Yeah.
I think they did that at one
like
time.
Them too. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think they did that at one time as well. So there's going to be some review on what's going on, and Dana Nessel's also looking at the current mayor of Detroit. She says that she's going to look at some of the activities
and then
with
also,
the blight and some of the other
and
stuff.
she went after a lot of priests too, man.
Yeah, with that.
And the Boy Scouts got issues too.
Oh, the Boy Scouts, they just released a number of
man. I think I'm gonna get
young
off that
men
board.
that are abused.
Man, but Bob, you go to the meeting.
Sad.
Bob, you go to the meeting. They look old guys, man. When America was there, they're America, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm getting at?
Different now, that's for sure.
The black folks different. The wilderness is different, and their version of the wilderness is different, Bob.
I think any organization where you have people mentoring children, they got to be extra vigilant and watchful.
Well,
that
I know with coaching
you get a bad
now
apple in there and it ruins the whole organization because of a couple bad apples.
Bob, these leagues need some cleaning up. They need some, because some of these kids are mothers are single, and the coaches prey on the mothers. I'm not saying all. I don't want that out there. You know what I'm saying? All. But it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, man.
Yeah. I know the coaches now, don't they do a background check?
They have to.
They have to do it.
I get a background check every first of the year.
On everybody or on yourself?
But the sheriff department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They used to do
so
that.
if I can get one, everybody else.
Sometimes you commit a crime and you don't report it, and it doesn't go up through the system. You're carrying a gun.
I've had to get renewed background checks as a substitute teacher in the school, which I do on the side in addition to my.
Yeah, you should. Teaching. You should. You're dealing with kids. Yeah, everybody needs to know if you're a pervert or not.
Yeah, I understand.
They're doing it now with the bus drivers. There was a number of years that they didn't have the bus drivers. We don't have one at this point. So.
Yeah, but Bob, I'm just saying, America, for once in their life, they need to come clean with all the garbage they done, man. And it's been old guys, man. I used to watch Frank Sinatra and them guys, man, and Ronald Reagan, them guys, them actors, man. You only had one black actress on the stage, man. They allowed Sidney Poitier in, okay? And then you had Nat King Cole at his show. Man, we was few and far between. Even occasionally you had a Hispanic actor. America is changing. They scared. They waking up in the morning and say, damn, it's black and brown.
It's changing real quick. And leading that charge is Donald Trump, who's want to go back to, quote, make America great
But
again.
guess what, Bob? It didn't start with Donald Trump. It started with Ronald Reagan in 1986 when he ran for president down in Philadelphia, Mississippi. His slogan was, make America great again.
Oh, was it? He said the same thing?
Yeah, he said the same thing.
Okay.
And look at what they had both had in common. It was both Democrats at one time.
Donald Trump's a plagiarist?
Yes, that's what it is. But they was both Democrats at one time.
Yeah, both
Ronald Reagan and
Donald
Trump.
And they took the path that they felt was going to get them to where they wanted to go.
Yes, they took on the behavior of some of them arch racists.
Yeah.
And then, Bob, we was talking about earlier, the Confederate flag, them guys lost. They celebrate, them folks down the South is celebrating losers.
That's what they're doing. Well, I want to thank all of you for calling in today. I want to thank Maxine, who has been diligent on the board here. We appreciate it very, very much. Keith Williams and Scotty Boman. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. I'm Robert Ficano, and we're going to be back with you again next week.
more time with you.